Hello, I'm Bartling, and I certainly hope that you and yours are having yourself a sunnier, warmer day. And I know sometimes it's a little bit hard sometimes to have that sunnier, warmer day outside. Well, wherever you are, it depends upon your attitude. You can have yourself a sunnier, warmer day, even being inside. Well, the older I am, the more that I think. And I'm thinking, especially this time of year, that we're hearing all kinds of stories in different forms, such as I'm in my pickup, I'm leaving work, and I hear a story every night I have on the radio, a different story each night. I hear a different story on TV, or maybe that special Christmas movie stories. Well, I think one of the best is kind of what I'm trying to do here today, being a storyteller. In particular, when you're a storyteller, you need the person listening, or the persons listening, each one of those, to use their imagination. Quite a word, imagination. There were two brothers, and those brothers are very close. It was almost like one tried to outdo the other on what they could do for each other. They were always doing for each other and other family members. They very much loved each other. Those two brothers were named Roger and Pedro. And Pedro was the baby of the family. Incidentally, I have two brothers. My two brothers are in Panama, and their names are Roger and Pedro. And Pedro is the baby of the family. Well, it was Christmas time, and Roger had Pedro over for Christmas dinner. It was just before Christmas because Roger knew that Pedro had other commitments at Christmas time, Christmas Eve service and other things. So he had his brother over before Christmas. And after that wonderful meal, Roger said to his brother Pedro, "Let's go out to the garage. I want to show you something." So they got up and went on out there, as did the other family members. And in going out there, as the garage door opens, to Pedro's amazement, there parked was a brand new 1967 Ford Mustang. Now I'm using this little replica right here to help me. But in that garage was not parked a little toy car. No, folks, it was a brand new 1967 Ford Mustang. And it was new, brand new. Roger holds up the keys and he says to Pedro, "Pedro, that car is yours. Merry Christmas, brother." Wow. Pedro was astounded. And he says, "Shall we take it for a drive?" Roger says, "You bet." So Pedro gets behind the steering wheel. They start her up. And of course, it's got glass back muffler. So you can hear the kind of cackle a little bit as they start her up. And they take off and they go around a couple blocks. And they come back, and other family members get rides. And finally, then Pedro's ready to kind of go home. He thanks his brother Roger so much for his brand new car. Now, as Pedro was going home, he remembered that he needed some things. So he stops by, as many of us do, a convenience store to pick up some things. And as he was leaving, there was a young boy coming up to the convenience store. Well, before the boy could even get to the door, he stops just all of a sudden, and he is astounded and looks at the brand new car. He looks up at Pedro and says, "Mister, is this your car?" Pedro says, "Sure is." Little boy says, "I bet it's brand new." Pedro says, "It sure is." Little boy says, "I can tell." And the little boy's kind of walking around the car and looking in the window. He says, "Wow, that is really something." And then Pedro says, "And you know what? It didn't cost me a cent. Not one penny did this new car cost me." And the little boy says, "Well, how did that happen, mister? Did you win a prize?" Pedro says, No. My brother gave me that car." And the little boy's eyes got bigger and bigger, and he seemed more amazed. And he says, Wow. I wish," Pedro was thinking in his mind before the little boy could say any more words. "I bet I know what he's going to say." Do you know what he's going to say? Well, the little boy, again in astonishment, said, Wow. I wish I could be a brother like that." Well, now it was Pedro who was astonished. You see, in his mind, he thought the little boy would say, "I wish I had a brother like that." Is that maybe what you thought? And then Pedro looked at the little boy and says, "Would you like a ride? I can take you a ride and give you a ride back home." The little boy said, "Sure, will you?" So he goes on in and he gets the items that he needed. And sure enough, Pedro took him to his house. And a couple blocks before he gets to the house there, the little boy says to Pedro, "Mister, do you mind if I show my brother your brand new car that your brother gave to you?" Pedro says, No, that'd be fine. So the little boy gets there and goes on up the steps, one little flight of steps there, to go on in and get his brother. As Pedro was waiting there, he seemed to think that it's taking a little bit longer than usual on what he thought it would take. But sure enough, the door starts to come open, and here comes the brother. He's carrying his brother. And he carries his brother down to the bottom of the steps. And he puts him down, and he sits real close to him. And Pedro can hear him say, "You see? See what I told you upstairs? Look at that car. Look at that red color. Just like a bright red apple. Isn't that something? Just like I told you." And his brother gave it to him. And then Pedro saw him look at his brother's eyes, and he said to him, "Someday I'm going to get you a car like that so that you can go around and not have to stay in your room and you can see the world." With that, Pedro was astonished again. And he said to the young boy, "Why don't you check with your mom? If it's okay with her, I'll take you and your brother for a little drive." And sure enough, the little boy comes right out, a lot faster this time. And he says, "It's okay." And so then Pedro opens the door, and the little boy helps his brother get in the front seat, and he gets in the front seat next to him. And Pedro takes them around. And then Pedro thinks, "I'll do this." And so he takes them down Main Street. And there were many, many stores. And each store seemed to have a very, very special Christmas display outside of their front big glass windows, almost like a competition. And so Pedro would go down one side of the street, go very, very slow, so that the boys could see the displays. And then he turned around and went down the other side. And so then Pedro drives up to the house, and the boy gets out. And then as he gets out, he immediately grabs his brother, lifts his brother up, and starts walking. Pedro says to him, "Do you need help?" He says, "Oh, no, mister, I don't need no help." He gets to about the first step there, and he turns around and looks back at Pedro. He said, "He ain't heavy. He's my brother." He ain't heavy. He's my brother. As Pedro left, he started to realize that he had received one of the best Christmas presents ever. And it wasn't the brand new car. It was the love that a brother had for his brother. I wish I could be a brother like that. I wish we could be brothers and sisters like that. I want you to take care out there, because you know why? I'm rooting for you. Yes, I am, because we're in this together. Yes, we are. So find ways to have yourself, wherever you are, have yourself that sunnier, warmer day. And remember this, as part of the story: blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You take care.